Hello, ignited souls. So, we are looking at the cross. Why are we looking at the cross again? We have been taught about the cross like for ages and ages. Every man should carry his own cross. No, not women, just men. Women bear children, and men carry their cross. Yeah, you know. Anyway, I would like to, before we dig in, I would like to invite the 14 gods and, of course, the high priest Aaron, who is really the master of um, numbers. Well, this is at least this is the relationship I have with him. So basically, and Aaron was Moses's mouthpiece, and now I feel that Aaron is also going to be my mouthpiece. So I invite the spirit of Aaron, I invite the 14 gods, and it's the God of creation, the God of breath, the God of blessings, the God of sayings, the God of settings, the God of soaring, the God of movement, the God who made, the God who planted, the God who formed, the God who ended, the God who divided, and I hope I have said all the, on the God of saints, I have said, oh, the God of settings, and the God of formation, the God of causation, and so on. So I invite the 14 gods, and because if I miss any of you, we all together, and let's just do this and have this deliciousness together. So yes, so the high priest Aaron seemed to have nudged me and to really invite you into the story that he's been giving me and having this discussion with me. So it's really saying that, you have to, this is saying, you have to go back to the cross. Like I was ever on the cross. Of course, I have been on the cross. I haven't really carried so many crosses. In my, when growing up, you hear, oh my, what cross I have to bear. Everyone is going on about the cross they have to bear and so on. So Aaron has been saying, I think you really need to tell people to bring this up again, to really highlight to people the full meaning of the cross. Now I'm thinking, do I know the full meaning of the cross? Now, of course you do, he says. I says, okay, well, I'll just do my best, but I want to make sure that you're right here in case I miss anything very important. So you could really let me know what's going on, what I should be saying. It's like I want to shift things onto the responsibility, and it's like saying, no, you go along, you can do this, you can do this. Of course, I've always been like that from I was growing up. If something was happening or someone wanted something and they were too shy to say, they'd say, oh, you go, as if I'm the one with the big mouth that I should go. But now I am embracing that as if it's a gift. So, oh, maybe it had been a cross and that I'm still carrying. Who knows? Okay. So really, because we do these presentations has been really around the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, and this is what Aaron is saying, that we really need to revisit this. So I think, well, yes, although I have done like so many presentations around that, and before I go, um, I'm getting a feeling that, in fact, Aaron is saying I'm gonna need to have a sketch of him as well, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, I don't know how well I'm gonna do this, but this is a presentation with a picture of Mother Eve, or well, yeah, an image of Mother Eve, because Mother Eve changes her hairstyle, she changes her features, and that's what the serpent does, because Mother Eve is the serpent, and the serpent, of course, is that which was in the garden, which was responsible for tempting Eve. But as we have already covered on this channel, that Mother Eve is also the serpent who is able to really camouflage herself and turn herself into a serpent. So, and of course, yes, Aaron, and yeah, I've said that before, and it's like Aaron saying, yeah, you need to say, you really need to say this. Yeah, I have said that, yeah, Mother Eve is really, she changes her skin. She's a serpent, yeah. So, and so I'm listening and I'm also speaking. So, in case, however, that comes across to you, and I'm sure we'll have a very delicious meal. So, before I go on, I want to invite you to get your fork and I've got my fork, and that we are all ready to dig in deep once more. I hope you are ready to dig in deep once more, because I am certainly ready to dig in deep once more. Get all your people, your aunts, your cousins, and everyone, friends and strangers, so we could have this delicious meal together. Why, you ask? Because we want to become better versions of who we are being right now. And when we say that, we want to realize who we truly are. Exactly. Okay. All right. So this is the sacrifice template. So is the cross. Now okay, I'm just going along with this. So I'm looking at the word see. I'm going to look at the word cross, how it is really in the sacrifice template, because it really gets my attention onto something that I saw before about this black and white. Okay, so it's like, okay, Aaron is saying that I really need to like focus on the word cross first. Okay, I'll put down the word cross. Okay, Aaron. Yes. So I'll do this. The word cross. Okay. So I'm seeing that I'm gonna have fun here, and that's what it is about. So if we're gonna have a meal, we might as well have fun while we do it, and do the numerical value. So it says do the numerical value. I'm doing the numerical value. So here. So adding this together, this is 15, this is 17, 18, 19. Is that correct? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And well, yes. Oh, something is, yeah. Okay, I get it. I get it. This is free and not two. Free. So it's 20. So the cross is 20. And okay, so Aaron is really saying that 20, because his numerical value for his name, Aaron, is 20, is 22. So as we are in 2020, that correlates perfectly. So I hope you get this. Now, okay, so now I am, because he's saying really, the cross is really something that we need to examine, because when we examine the cross, then we have a better understanding about how we are going to maneuver in this 2020, this year 2020. He's also saying that it is important that we not only see how we're going to maneuver, but before we do this, so that we could see where we're coming from, so we know where we are going. And we'll get the fuller understanding about the representation of the cross itself. So, okay, he's actually saying it's all north, south, east, and west as well. So I get that. I get that. So it's like a north, our south, our east is here, and our west. So that's really important, but that's the news. So basically, the cross is news, and I wasn't aware of that, because and I suppose when it says carrying our own cross, it's carrying our own news. But the word news actually comes to 15, 16. So, oh, I can see why. Okay, now he's saying, yeah, you can see why I'm asking you to look at it that way, because 16 equals 7 and 7 equals 20. Oh my, this Aaron, I just love how he works with me, because it's so really really clever. Okay, so like I did this before and realized that the number 5 actually is like an S, because it also has the masculine end, and the bottom of the 5 as it curves is like the serpent. So it's as if the serpent, of course, is like both masculine and feminine, and it's like really saying again, okay, Aaron, is really saying that the masculine and feminine is encapsulates all of that which we are, because the serpent is like it's forward, like the S. It's like saying it is forward, and it's also backward. It's also saying it is like the W. It is like two in one. Okay. So this is all to help us to understand who we are. And Aaron is also saying that when we look at the news, of course, we will see, as he has just said, 15 NEW is 5, 10, 15, because that's the numerical value here. And it says, of course, adding S gives us 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So he's showing us how it's like, on one hand, he was the one carrying Moses' cross, because Moses couldn't really speak. He had a speech impediment. So, or impediment or impediment. impediment. Okay. I'm really I think whenever I say Moses, it sounds like I'm doing Moses. So please take over, Aaron, so I can really use the correct words and pronounce them good. And so we see 16 is actually 7. So when we do the numerical value for the word 7, let's say, oh, we had what we did here before. So we may revisit this again. So we had 16 and 1 plus 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. And okay, so we are doing 7 now, and he's reminding me to point out Mother Eve in the middle. And then, so this is why he's saying again, it's so important that we get to understand the divine feminine in this 2020 journey. It's like the Exodus. He says it's like the Exodus to the children of Israel from the land of Canaan from the land of Egypt into Canaan. So we need to look at that. And he's also saying again, it is so important for us to look at the first letter and the last letter in particular, and that equals 6. And that is also the said God, which is the God of words and speech. And hence it is said in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And he's also saying you need to, okay, I need to look at this a little bit closer as well. So we've done sevens quite a few times. So which is 5, 4, 5, 1, and adding this together, this is 14, 15, 16, and 1 plus 6 is 7. Well, have I done this correct? No. We done 1 plus 6 is 7 here, and 7 is, okay, it's very good in helping me pointing out things there. So this is 5. This is 5. So this is 5, 10, and this is 20. So this is 20. And because as we see before, Aaron is like, and we did 1, 1, 9, 6, 5, and adding this together, it is 22. So in the year 2020, we have, so basically we have 2, 2. Okay, so I'm back to the cross, and this is what, okay, and so I had this thing with this conversation. So it's like saying, okay, why is it that women should even bear their own cross as well? And basically, he's saying, well, we all term it as bearing our cross, but women really, as I thought as well, is like bearing children, and that in itself is such a big responsibility. So it is already seen as a cross. So even when it says every man should bear his own cross, perhaps it was really literal that men should bear the cross. Okay, it's just finding out what your cross is. Okay. So we had 2020, and it's the word cross we had again. So going back to cross, and okay, he's saying to look at the word, the middle word, the middle letter, yeah, which is 6. And of course, 6 is also already telling us that if we did the numerical value, because in numerical values, the 0 or not is like the 0, which is not counted. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So here we see it is. So this is what Aaron is really saying, that this is where in the two sets of the gods, like one set of God is absent and one is present. They're either present in the not or not present in, or present in the not and not present in the 0. So this is really amazing. This is really amazing. Okay. And it depends. So he's saying that every time we look at one aspect, it's that we can only, of course, it is for our good, our own good to really be able to focus on one aspect at a time. Although now he's saying that we'll be able to see the whole picture at once, because now it's not even so much of polarities, but we are able to actually see the whole. Because in the 5th dimension, which is representing Mother Eve as well, having eaten of the fruit, and her eyes were open, or their eyes were open. So we see in the word 6, which is 1, 9, 6. Adding this together is 16, and back to 7. So it's like saying, he also reminds me that the cross is also like the word earth, Earth. Well, and it's also saying it is in the heart, Hearth, and it's also saying it is in the it's the brain, Brain. Basically is really getting us to see that 7 in this case, which is not, if you like, the 6, but when we do it here, it's transformed into this the A right here. So basically, the earth and the heart is really synonymous. One is internal, one is external. They both have heartbeats. They both vibrate. And basically, our heartbeats all together is like the pulse, as if it's the pulse of the earth. The earth pulsates on our heartbeat, so it is alive, very much alive. And our brain, of course, is sending out a signals to whatever it is that is earth is wanting to know. This is how we're communicating. It's like being the brain is the receptor or projector. Okay, so right here. And so this really explains that bit of the cross. And it's really, thank you, Aaron. Aaron is really explaining that the cross needs to be looked at a deeper level, which is what we are doing right now. And especially in the term of the numerical value of 20. And we have seen how it comes, how 20, the word 20 comes to 8. We have done that in different presentations, but we look at this again. So we have 3911. And here it says as well that the 3, of course, we have seen as W. And perhaps it's no wonder that there was someone, I feel it was, that actually helped Christ, okay, helped Christ carry his own cross. So basically in that is saying that was a mirror aspect or a W, that W. And we know, or we learned from this crucifixion, that there were two thieves, and even that as well, that yeah, Aaron is saying that we have had the wrong interpretation of what the thieves actually meant. Okay, but we'll go back to this another time. So basically he's saying that the two there is really saying, oh, okay, so this is what he's saying, meaning Christ with the two thieves, that meant there were 3 people with the crosses, but 3, remember, he says that 3 always comes to 2. When we do the numerical value for the word 3, it is also 2. And yeah, okay, so I get that. So when we add cross together, here we have 9, 10, this is 16, 19, 20. So we have seen how we have 20 in the word cross. Okay, Aaron. So Aaron is saying that in this 2020, it's like an exodus. This is what he's saying. It's an exodus, like the children of Israel from Egypt going into the promised land of Canaan. So oh, yeah. I don't know why he's telling me to do Egypt. Egypt. Okay, and Canaan. Kanaaan. I think that is right. Yes, he says it is. So it's 5777. I think he wants us to see all the sevens here. And then Canaan is 31511. 5. Okay. Again, he's asking to look at the first and last letter. So when we do that with Egypt, we see that comes to 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. So there is something that is very, again, is to remind us, yes, it is like we are moving into another promised land, or we need to acknowledge we're already in the promised land, those of us in the 5th dimension, or the 5th dimension rather. So, but we also still have, it's like you're already on board but you're not there. Okay, so that's what he's saying. It's like you already board the, it's like you already board the ship, but you haven't really got to the destination. Okay, so let's add this. 3 7s 21, this is 23, and 5 is 28. So 28 is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. So basically, Egypt itself was really perfect in that sense because, and it's no wonder that they all missed their foods and stuff that was going on. Okay, so we probably will have to revisit this as well. Again, looking at the first and second letter here. So we have 3 plus 5 is 8, and that is what, so they were actually setting a new template by going into Canaan because 8 is okay. So this is what Aaron is saying, that the 20, as we have done, the numerical value for the word 20, TWENTY, and is 25527, and that comes to 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. Now he also reminds me to do Moses, because he says that there were 2 8s, just as we are facing 2 8s right now. Okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, he's just reminding me about again, just like Adam and Eve ate of the fruit, so there were 2 eights. And so he's saying that we really need to see how everything is just a cycle. It is a cycle. So if we did Moses, because Moses was the chief leader, of course, and so he's saying 4, 6, and again, he's saying to me, just look at the S, the middle of Moses, because it's also 5 words, just as cross. So that was Moses. Moses had a cross on they. Oh, I see. Okay, he's saying to me, okay, I get it now. So he's saying, of course, Moses, they had to cross the Red Sea. So there was a crossing as well. There was the cross. I was trying to wonder why Aaron really wanted me to have this, but he's really having fun here right now. It's like he's giggling with me here. Okay, so we have 151, and adding this together, we see with Moses, this is 10, and this is 16, 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. So there were 2 8s, and that's what he's really saying. So if we did 2020 as in the word as well for this year that we are in, we see we will have 2 8s. And this is also coinciding if we did with the 2 2s of Aaron's name. So but before we do that with Aaron, because Aaron is 22, as we have said, of course, the 22, and of course it may have well be, but that's how it's come up. And then when we do 2 separate, it's 13, and we do 2 again, it's 13. So basically we see where the 2 creations come together and form one setting, just like the one set. So 8 plus 8 comes to 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So 7, we can see how 7 also repeats itself as in 20 when we do the word 7. Okay, so I'm hoping you get this. I'm hoping you get this. So adding this together, we see that Canaan is 8, and we have Egypt was 10. We don't necessarily have to add this together, but if we did, because that is really saying that this is the cycle that they had to really come to. So there was a new birth. There was a 9, birthing something new. And of course, because when the children of Israel were before getting into Canaan, where they had to pitch their tents, wherever they had to stop, which they were guided by a cloud. So wherever, which we would have to do a cloud as well, wherever they did, or they also were setting. They were always creating a set. So there was the god of setting was really very active. Okay, so all right, okay. So basically, Aaron is saying, like, we can really just go over this again, and just to ensure that you have this, because the emphasis, okay, he's saying that we are bombarded with a lot of news, and because we are in a lot of news, because we are being renewed. We are being renewed. So he's saying the cross, this is the cross, and he's saying it is your north, North, and it is your south, South, and it is your west, West, and it is your east, East. And I've done this before. East is 9, is and this is 4, which is 31. And just for time, I'm not going to do all this now. So north is actually, this is 10, this is 19, this is 25, so this is 30. So this is 30, and south is 20. And this is what I'm hoping you can see this. Yeah. So basically, so this is what we are really concentrating on, and because we have the NEW, but we have S. So it's like we are doing a sort of motion like this. Oh, and this is really like the serpent. The serpent is doing a move and it's planting. We are ready to plant here. And so in 20, of course, as we know the word 20, we are doing another setting. We are setting our foundation. This is what we are meant to really concentrate on, to set our foundation. And it's no wonder there was a lot about the sun setting when Jesus Christ was crucified, or the setting of the sun. So the God of setting was very present right here. The God of division obviously has been very active, doing quite a lot, but we can see, and of course in the north, which is free, that would be again the God of division and the God of let's see if I can see, and the God of saying. So it's like the God of, no, it's the God of blessings, or the blessed God. So the blessed God and the, let's just show you. Okay, so basically we have gone through, we are in this arrowhead, and we can see that the divided God, this is the divided God we are around or engaged with. And when we do the numerical value for the word free, we have 2. So this 2 is representing like the 2020. So we have this God here, and we have the blessed God as well. So basically this is coinciding with the in creation in Genesis. Okay, and yeah, and Aaron is reminding me about the creation, that when God blessed man, that's when man became a living soul, and the living soul meant that it was a whole new ball game. And this is what is happening to us right now. We are in a whole new ball game. It is something entirely different than we have ever seen before. And so this is really important that we see. Oh, this also reminds me actually of the oh, I don't know quite know what is the Orion belt. This reminds me of it. So basically, we can see how um, we need to maneuver in this. So we rise up in the morning to with the 9. Of course, our north is really having to be very mindful about what we are doing, opening the third eye. This is really a lot about opening the third eye, really about in the West, a lot about meditation, and really taking into account what you need and what you don't, and really saying, ready to what your pillars are going to be. It's acknowledging the cycle right here. And so you have planting the seeds of whatever it is that we are doing. So I'm really grateful and thankful to have had the assistance of Aaron with us, Aaron the high priest, and really getting us to understand this, the cross even better. So we see the cross is really your north, south, east, and west, meaning it's your news. Okay, and he's reminding me, it's like it's time you make your own news and stop listening to news elsewhere. You are the news, and they have been making news for you. You are a creative being, and it's time you form your own news. You need to be mindful about what your purpose is, and that way you are making your own news. Okay. Um, He's also saying this is why Paul said it's in the scriptures that you need to renew your mind, declutter, take a mental diet, do something like this so you can plant well and have good news. Okay, and he's saying instead of going around and listening to other people saying or listen to the good news, now you will know for yourself what the good news is. Okay, all right. So yes, there is quite a lot on this with the cross, and basically it looks like Aaron's gonna have to accompany us with carrying our own cross, and by telling us about crossing, like crossing the Red Sea. He's also saying it's like we are ready to cross the Red Sea. So I feel we'll do this in another presentation because we don't want to make this too long. So I hope you have enjoyed this deliciousness. It has been a delicious meal. I'm really truly grateful and thankful, and to have the company of Aaron and the 14 gods working harmoniously with us now. And this is what we want, because harmony, all the gods have their polarities and their what we see as positive, negative, and what was positive yesterday is now negative today, vice versa. And so we have to just call on to the gods and really work with the gods, and really be clear about what it is we want to create. So thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this. I certainly have. I've got belly full right now. So thank you. Oh, lovely people. Do like and subscribe, do share, and of course, stay ignited.